Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Sporting 160 in English. And today I'll be your host, Steph Teixeira, together with Bruno Brito from Portugal, Lisbon. How are you doing, Bruno?
Hello, I'm doing fine. It's good to be back and to be here talking about our great Sporting Club Portugal once again.
I feel you. I feel you. It's been a long time. I'm glad that you're back too. Also, from all the way from the United Kingdom, we have Sam Fonseca. It's been a minute. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me back on. Like Bruno said, it's a pleasure to always be talking about sporting with you guys.
Good, good, excellent. And last but not least, we have Denny Saldana from Canada. How you doing, Denny?
Doing good, man. Doing great. Glad to be back on again.
Great, great. And later on, we'll have Brun Mins joining us. He's just getting off work, and then he'll join us too. So without any further delays, let's move on. We're going to talk about several topics, one of them being the Taça de Portugal, the final. I know it's not a pleasant topic, but we must talk about it. Also, we'll talk about the present situation with Sporting Club Portugal, what's going on now. We'll talk about the modalities, and we'll talk about the Portuguese media and the transfers. So let's move on to the Taça de Portugal game. So the starting lineup was Rui Patricio, Stefan Ritovski, Coates, Jeremy Mathieu, Fábio Coentrão, Bataglia, William Carvalho, Gelson Martins, Bruno Mendes, Acuna, and Bas Dost. So Sam, give me your 2 cents. What did you think about the game?
Well, it was quite a while ago now, but from what I remember, it was just painful to watch. And I can say that about the last 2 games Sporting played, like one against Maritimo and then this one. Just, lifeless performance. But that being said, with the recent events that surrounded that final, with the fans going into the training ground and, the events that happened there, you couldn't really expect them to all be 100% mentally, but you still expected a better performance from what we saw in that game. And as you all know, the fans walked out during when it was 2-0. They were just as upset as we were. But that being said, I don't think no matter the score, the fans should walk out. Always, watch the team, support the team. It is hard, and I know, especially considering what we've lost. Could have gone second place, and we bottled it. Could have got the trophy of the Taça, but no, we bottled that as well. As frustrating as it is, I think now more than ever, we all need to stick together. But that being said, that game did prove to me as well that there is a lot of people that Sporting should be willing to sell and willing to, send out on loan. I think William Carvalho played pretty poorly, and I think, as much as I love the guy, and as much as he's been a great servant for us, that I think now's our time to cash in on him and move on, especially if he has a good World Cup as well. I don't see why we couldn't get 40 million out of a Premier League team. There's also the rumour of Patricio leaving. He did make a mistake that game. Some say 2. I don't blame him on the first one, but the second one I think should do better. But that being said, I don't want Patricio to leave, although it's pretty much almost confirmed that he's gone. But yeah, there's a Ristovski, I thought, is an okay player. Some are calling for Piccini to start instead of him, but in all honesty, I think Ristovski is better than Piccini. I think going forward, Ristovski should start. And it was just players that, Bruno Fernandes is always fantastic. Mateo and Coates recently, have been here and there. But that being said, you can see in that game, the Maritimo game, there is a lot of dead weight we have. Just to name a few, Ruben Ribeiro, Bruno Cesar, just players that we don't need and that are taking up spaces for youngsters like Chico Geralds on loan, Mateus Pereira, even Carlos Mané. Hopefully next season we can implement more of these youngsters. But yeah, that's what I have to say on the game.
Okay, so yeah, I feel the same way as you do. I'm just going to give my 2 cents right away. I won't take too long. But Sporting played well the first 10 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes when we needed to tie the game. And besides that, I'll piggyback everything you've just said. And I'll leave it at that. It was very painful to me. And you guys will know about that because I had to disconnect for a couple days. I'm man enough to admit it that I didn't like to lose against Sportivo Daves. They played better. They deserved it. I'm not questioning their victory. But to me, as a Sportingista, that we hardly win titles with the senior team, I took it very hard. And I just had to disconnect for a couple of days, and then I came back. And then after I came back, all of a sudden we had the scandal of cash ball, which we'll talk about it for a little bit in a little while. But Bruno, give me your 2 cents.
I think we missed a lot of clear opportunities to score, even though we did a bad game. But the worst was the bad feelings around the game due to the events before the match in Alcochete. And I think the most important of all is to regroup the troops and to get the team united for the next season. I think the match was the minimum due to what happened before. And we need to set the pieces to regain the connection with all the pieces of the club, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I know exactly what you mean. The club is a little bit in up in chains, but we'll find a way to pull together and move on up the situation crisis that we involve now. Danny, tell us what you thought about the Taça Portugal final.
Yeah, it was setting up like during the day. It was like a whole festa, which is how it's supposed to be done. It is it was becoming a great atmosphere just before the game. Even here in Toronto, I went to Casa de Sporting here in Toronto, and we were roasting some pig, having some leitão, having a few beers. It really felt like a festa, and then the game happened, and that festa turned into sorrow. I think like Bruno said, we did enough to I think we could have won the game, or at least tied it. But also the way like what Sam said, the events leading up to it. I mean, it was tough to really ask for a lot, and I think the players they definitely showed some effort, especially towards the end when they really needed a goal. But it wasn't meant to be, and Avs were good on the day. The few chances they had, they scored. You can't really complain at that. I think their first goal, it came easy. Quach, I don't know why he wasn't really on his man like that. And then on the second goal as well, I think he just slides by Acuna and then gets the better of Rui Patricio. I think Rui should have done a lot better on that one. Gelson could have had at least 2 goals. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was really tough. And, of course, Bas Doss missing the open net. We should have at least walked away going into to extra time. But credit to Avs. Congratulations, Avs. You were well on the day. I guess you guys deserved it. You took advantage of the situation that Sporting put themselves in, because it was mainly Sporting fans there, and I hope those 50 criminals are happy with what they did, because we could have been walking away with a trophy had we trained that day, because we didn't lose to them in the league. It was a tough day, a day that we're still kind of upset about, but there's nothing else we can do. Just look forward and like you said, Bruno, like rally the troops so that they can come back stronger for next season.
Yeah, agreed. So is that all we have to say about the Taça Portugal game? I mean, me personally, that's all I have to say. I don't really want to talk about it no more. What about you guys?
I'm just going to say that I feel like Avs deserved it more than we did. They wanted it more. Without
a doubt. I agree with you 100%. Avs were prepared. And the only thing I'll say is Sporting didn't practice it all the whole week. And it showed, because when you're out of your routines and then you play a competitive game, it showed big time. We played most of the time playing back and sideways, and Avs they had a plan. They stuck to the plan, and it paid their dividends. They won the Taça Portugal, and congratulations to them. And that's all I got to say. Should we move on? Yep.
Yeah. Do you want me to do the questions real quick that we had last week on Twitter, or something else?
We can say, yeah. Go ahead. Go with the questions. Go ahead.
All right. Cool. Sorry. Just quickly, I just want to apologize for all the fans that were waiting for us last week. We had some technical issues, and we couldn't really, we couldn't basically connect on Hangouts here, so we're doing it today. We had a question in from Zepareda at Zepareda4785 on Twitter. He said a few questions. Many players out on loan accumulated lots of minutes this season. Out of that list of players, which should be featured next season, and other than goalie, which position should Sporting focus on improvising? So we'll answer that question first. Out of all the players loaned out, who do you think are like the most likely candidates to be starting for us next season?
Okay, so I'll go first, and I'll just say two names so I can give everybody else a shot to give other names. But to me, without a doubt, Ushik Geraldes, I can see him playing as a number 8 and doing really great. And personally, I've always liked the kid, Mateus Pereira. And I'll leave it at those two names because there's so much more. So I want to give Sam Fonseca and Brun Bridge a chance to say a couple names. So that's it for me.
All right.
I was going to say, again, with Steph Sheik Geraldes, but I'm going to change from, you said Mateus Pereira, I'm going to go with Carlos Mane, because I've always liked the guy when he was at Sporting before. So those are my two.
All right, Bruno.
For me, those three players are the most important. With the large potential that we have to join our squad next year, and I think we need improvement for the left wing, and we need a second striker. Maybe Carlos Mane can play there, like a solution for Bruno Fernandes if he leaves. I don't know, but I would like to watch Slimani return once again.
Yeah, that'd be great. We have been linked to him too.
And for the goalie, if Patricio leaves, there are names that were linked to Sporting. I've heard about Joe Hart and Viviano. In my opinion, I've shared on Twitter. Maybe Perrin from Genova. We can use Yuri Medeiros to lower his price. Is at the end of his contract. He just have 1 year of contract, and we can took advantage from that.
Yeah, that's actually a really great shout. I didn't even think of that. It's a really great shout. All right, next question from Zach, because he gave, I think, 3 or 4. Seems like the forces are pushing for a Ricardo Sapinto managerial return, but is it fair to judge him negatively for his first stint, considering he took over Domingos, then had the summer to prepare for what was the 7th place season under Godinho Lopes? I'm basically, is Ricardo Sapinto a good option for us if Jorge Jesus is to leave? Sam, start with this one if you want.
Like, I mean, I'm always going to give the managers the benefit of the doubt, especially, like you said, they didn't have the summer to prepare. So I say, why not, really? If he's available, then I say go for him. He had a good season with Standard Liège, I believe. And, like I said, if George Jesus to leave, I don't see why not. He loves the club, and yeah, I wouldn't mind to have Sapinto as our manager.
Yeah, Steph, what do you think?
I think that Sapinto would be a great choice. He actually won the cup in was it in Belgium?
Yeah, Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did really great. He's more seasoned. He's more prepared than the last time. You can compare this Sapinto with when he was the coach for Sporting many moons ago, because at that time I don't think he was prepared. It takes time to be a coach. It's not because you wake up one day and you say, "Hey, I want to be a coach," and you go and to some classes and you take some classes in tactics and how to put a couple cones and give away little color vests that you become a coach. It comes with it with time and with experience. So now I think he's more prepared, and I think he's a good choice. But it's very premature because Jorge Jesus hasn't voiced his opinion. Lately, I've heard that Bruno Carvalho already spoke to him. I don't think Sporting is willing to pay off $7 million euros. So he might stay, to tell the truth. We'll talk about what's going on with our Sporting, but Bruno Carvalho is actually slowly but surely becoming stronger and stronger as far as staying instead of being, out of the club. We know there's a few people that want to kick them out of the club, and again, we'll talk about it. But coming back to Sapinto, if Jorge Jesus leaves, which I don't think he will, actually, yes, he's a great choice. But like we've spoken about this topic before, there's other coaches that me personally, I would love to see Rui Jorge from the sub-21, the under-21 team, but that's me. So. And that's all I got to say about this topic.
All right, Bruno, what's your 2 cents? What do you think? Sapinto good or bad for Sporting?
For me, Sapinto would be a perfect choice for an assistant coach because he knows the club, he has clout. It's good to work with young players, and I think it would be perfect to have another more experienced coach where they could share knowledge and experience to get the best out of the whole team. That's what I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Just quickly for me, I think, of course, I'd support him if he does take over. But personally, I think we should be going out in for someone else. But I'm not totally opposed to Sapinto. I'm not even totally opposed to Jorge Jesus staying one more season. We'll see what happens with that. Last question from Zé says, should Sporting abandon the Bastos system of catering to his skill for a more mobile ball-controlling forward like a Lietzen? Or if Sporting does continue with Bastos, how can they give him more help? Steph, start with this one if you want. Basically, should we move to a more agile forward like Lietzen? Or should we change our style up with, making Bastos the target man to make him something else, or what should we do? What do you think we should do?
Okay, so we should have both options. We should have a player like Bastos, Pinheiro, like you can cross the balls and he can score easily, or with his set skills, and we should have somebody like Lietzen, more agile. A little bit faster. That would be like a Slimani. Slimani was a kind of a combination of both. Someone agile and also tall. If we could get someone like that, then we set. And then we can get somebody that we thought like Doumbia would be the solution, but apparently it was not. I mean, it's obvious now. But someone that with similar skills that we thought Doumbia had to be a fast player in case the game is not going well. We put him in, and he can use the supersonic speed. So yes, in a way, if Bastos is not staying, it doesn't seem like he wants to stay anymore. Then I would make an effort to get Slimani. Slimani is not happy in the UK. He has not done great in Leicester and West Ham. I think deep inside he kind of regrets going to the Premier League. And not saying that he wouldn't perform well in another team, but at Sporting, they built a team around him. I don't see any English team building a team around Slimani because he's not a super name, a super crack, a superstar like Ronaldo. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very tough for Slimani to prevail and to be successful in England. If he plays for a small team, the smaller teams, they play in counterattack. So they're never going to play for his style. So I hope he comes back. I mean, I'll even pay a couple more dollars of dues, the sausages every month, if they want him to come back, you know? But, you know, we should have both styles. And it's possible because most teams have both styles of plays. And
Right.
that's all I got to say.
All right, fair. Bruno, what's your take on it?
I think we need similar players to Teo Gutierrez and Slimani. One to play between lines, and another to press the opposing defense to allow greater offensive equity and to make the attack easier. Without players with these characteristics, it is difficult to play just with two midfielders in the middle. I think the wingers in Jorge Jesus' first season, we had João Mario, who helped the team to defend, and in practice we had three midfielders, so it was easier for us to have some balance, and that I think that's what we need since we lost João Mario, Teo Gutierrez, and Slimani.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. And on to the last question that comes in from Chip Carvaldo. Thanks, Chip. It's how do you rate the season out of 10? What's the highlights of our season, and who are the best worst players? What needs improvement ahead for the next season? So first, just what do you guys rate our season out of 10? Personally, I'll give it a 6 because it was going so well and then just finished horribly. Yeah, guys, chip in. What do you think our season out of 10 is?
Yeah, a 6. We at least won the Taça da Liga, which is nothing amazing, but still, we didn't have it. That was the first Taça da Liga that we ever won. So a 6 because towards the end, it was total misery, losing against Marítimo and then losing against Aves, Taça Portugal. They dropped a couple notches, so a 6.
Yeah. Sam?
I'm going to go with 6 as well. The reason why I don't go lower is just because obviously the Taça da Liga. And also I thought in the Europa League and Champions League we had very good performances, especially in the Europa League to get knocked out by the eventual champions, obviously. But that being said, I also don't think we played horribly against Atletico Madrid. We showed that we were a force to be reckoned with, and the same in the group stage of the Champions League. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, and Bruno, what do you think out of 10?
A 6 too. We started very well, and second part of the season was a deception for us. I totally agree with your opinions.
And so highlights of the season and best and worst players. Sam, go first on this one if you want.
Best players, Bruno Fernandes. Definitely, I don't think there's anyone that goes close to him. Worst player, if we... I don't know, it's a hard one because I want to say obviously Ruben Rivero because, you know, he didn't really do much, contribute much. But in terms of the whole season, if we're just talking about starting 11, for me, I was really disappointed this season in William Carvalho. I want to say he's the worst player, but he had a disappointing season. But I just want to add to that as well, just a player who surprised me was Fabio Coentrão. Obviously, he had his fitness issues, but I think he proved that he still has talent, and I think he showed that here.
Yeah. Bruno, go next. Highlight of the season and then best and worst players.
The best for me, Bruno Fernandes and Bataglia. Piccini was a good surprise.
Nice.
He lost some energy in the last 2 months. And the worst for me, without any doubt, William Carvalho.
Wow. All right. And Steph, best worst players for you.
Okay, so the best player for me, without any doubt, was Bruno Fernandes. But after seeing how well he played, we kind of burned him out. He needed to rest. I mean, you look at the top-notch teams, and even Messi rests, even Iniesta rests, even the best players in the world like Cristiano Ronaldo, they take some rest. And we just burned him out. And then towards the end of the season, you could see him missing a lot of passes. But I don't totally blame him. And that's why I never got what Chicharito was loaned, because he could have been easily his replacement at times. So I don't think the preseason was well prepared by Jorge Jesus. And then the worst player, I'm on the same boat as Bruno. William Carvalho. He showed no heart. He showed no emotion. He showed no leadership. I don't think he played to his full capacity. And you as a professional player, you can never think that you're bigger than the club. When you think that way, then that's it. You're done. And that's all I gotta say.
Oh, fair play. To me, of course, the best player was Bazooka Fernandes. His goals were incredible. His assists were always there. With him, we were more likely to win than lose. Without him, even against the smallest teams, we were struggling. Of course, like you guys also mentioned, a close second to I think Battaglia, and then also Piccini, who was a good surprise. And then our worst player is, to me, Doumbia, because he's been a sack of potatoes for the whole year, in my opinion.
That's a good point. I was going to say, just add to that as well, Freddie Montero, I forgot about him. I'm going to add him to that worst player list as well.
Don't do my boy Freddie like that, man.
I just can't stand him this season. I love him, but yeah, poor season.
Fair enough. Yeah, he had a pretty bad season as well. All right, and then the last question from Chip Carvalho was just what needs to be improved and changed ahead of next season?
Improved in what?
Improved and changed in the team. You sort of alluded to like a left wing spot, but what else do you think? If you think anything else needs to be improved.
The second striker, maybe, if Bruno Fernandes plays in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the left back. We need Quentron did a good season, and I think we need a good sub because we are in forefront, and we need a good sub in every position. It's all about good balance. If you don't have a good balance, it's difficult to be competitive in all the competitions.
Yep, for sure. Sam, what do you think needs to be improved ahead of next season?
Without just a player standpoint, I think it's just the mentality of the team. I think a lot of players like Steph alluded to, William Carvalho, are thinking they're better than the team. Yeah. And I think something needs to be changed, whether it's the manager who makes the atmosphere or, the captains. I just think that's probably one of the main things that needs to be changed. But in terms of players, I agree. I think we need a second striker because Bastos, as good as he is, he only has a limited skill set. And if I would say one more position, I'd probably go with left back as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. And Steph, what do you think needs to be improved?
Well, it's hard to say what needs to be improved because we have no clue at this point in time who's staying. Everything is a total mess. I'm not speculating anything because I don't know anything. But it looks like some players want to stay, some players want to go. So it looks like we're going to have a really young team. And I kind of like it to some degree. So we shall see. But let's say if the team stayed the way it is now, assuming that Fabio Quintana is not staying because his payroll is too high, then I agree. We need another left fullback. I would bring back Ludi Medeiros. Our good friend Zé Pereira is actually listening to our podcast live, and he mentioned it on his comments. Thank you for that, Zé. That's a very good choice too, because he's doing great in Italy. And then we need another striker, definitely. Dumbia, believe it or not, he's still at Sporting. He should have been gone a long time ago, like in the winter time. But he's still at Sporting. I think he's the only one that wants to stay. So, with our luck.
He's the only one not going to, quote-unquote, rescind his contract.
Ai, meu Deus do céu. But then, let's not forget that we have, we just mentioned Matheus Pereira, o Carlos Mané. They're going to give them a shot. O Barbosa, they're going to give him a shot too from the B team. Also, we have Dalla. I don't know if he was doing well while on the loan in the Rio Ave. I don't think so. He didn't play that much.
Really.
Yeah,
he had a good first 3-4 games, but then wasn't really used.
But that's why we have. But that's why we have a preseason to bring those players back 100%. And to see. Go ahead, Bruno.
Yeah, but Dalla was injured 2 times.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And then we still have our Puto, Rafael Leão. Yeah, so we have a lot of materia prima in now youth league, youth teams, especially the B team and junior team. Elvis Balde, another winger I would love to see, play for the A team or, so we still have Wendell, didn't play much. I still want to see what he has to offer for the team. And Misic, yeah. So we're gonna have a good team combined with experience. It looks like Coates is staying because when he left to the his national team, he said, "Hey, I have a contract. I'm staying." But Dagli recently, with the TCY, he said he wants to stay, in Portugal. So. I don't know what to believe from the Portuguese media because it's a mess. It's a lot of fake information to keep us confused, and everything is very bizarre. But again, that's one of our topics, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, that would be the places I would see improvement. Would like to see improvement. Left fullback because the midfield I think will be fine. I see a lot of good stuff going on, even if William Carvalho leaves, and then a striker.
Maybe Lumer. I think maybe Lumer can improve a lot too. But if the coach
gives him a chance,
some confidence, yeah,
if he gives him a chance, because Jorge Jesus from the get-go, he didn't give him a chance.
And he passed. How can I say? Atestado de incompatibilidade, atestado de incompetência. Pois.
Yeah, exactly. So he basically called him incompetent from the get-go before, him proving himself.
Yeah, and he's playing for the national team of Ghana on the starting 11, and they were, I think, they won 2-0 against Japan. Japan will be in the World Cup, so it shows he has quality.
Better than us. We tied 2-2 against Tunisia. So you got a point.
And another point, I think Sporting with so many wingers on the team and by loan to another teams, we can't end the season playing with Misic like a sub for the left wing. It doesn't make any sense. And like Bruno Carvalho said, there was a bad management of our players along all the season.
Agreed. Danny,
Yeah.
any more questions?
No, that was it. I was just going to throw in my quick 2 cents. I was going to agree with all of you. I think we definitely need a left back. I definitely want to see another striker in the mold of Bas Dost. If that's Slimani, that's perfect. And what I want to improve and change is our rotation. I want, like we have alluded all season, I want more rotation in the squad. I want fresher players. I want younger players giving a shot when it's Taça de Liga, even if it's Taça Portugal. If there's an injury, I don't want us playing a player like it seemed we did with Piccini against Marítimo. I want us, rotating. This is a deep team. This is a club that's, historically had a great academy. I want, whether it's Jorge Jesus or anybody else, I want somebody to go in and look at the kids and give the kids a chance and rotate the team more. That's the main change I want. So definitely left back and then just rotate the team. And maybe another number 8 because I think we're low in those positions. But that's it. That's it with the questions. Thanks for everybody for their questions. Zé, thank you very much. Chip Carvalho, thank you very much. And also a special thank you to Mike, who last week was all ready to do the podcast with us, but technology just wasn't letting us have it. So thank you, Mike from Three Tugas. And yeah, Steph, back to you.
Okay, sounds good. So a couple shout out to José Pereira. He's online with us, and Kevin Fernandes also as well. Kevin, he put some comments, and he said that you love to see Mané and Mateus in our team again. And I agree with Kevin. I would love to see those two puts in our team again. Both of them, they grew up in our academy, and they're phenomenal players. Also, one question, kind of a question from José Pereira, and this is the last one. Domingo Duarte, do you think he could be in our A squad? Danny?
Maybe as the 4th center back. But if we keep the center backs that we have, as well as we even got Marcelo. I think another loan will do him well, get him the experience. But if any of the 4 center backs we have now, the 4 I'm including Marcelo in this, any of the other 3 decide to leave, then for sure he can slot in. If not, then I think another loan will, or if we can somehow sell him, I think that would do well. Because he's good, but I don't think he's not that great quality yet, in my opinion.
Okay. Bruno, what do you think?
I totally agree with Daniel. In my opinion, we have 4 center backs with good quality, and Domingos Duarte is a youngster, and he needs to play to raise his level. So I think it's better for him to be loaned. And Belenenses is trying to get his service by a loan transfer, and I think Silas could be a good coach for him to continue raise his level.
Okay, and thank you for your feedback, Bruno. And Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, 100% agree with both of them there. If one of our 4 centre backs leaves, then yeah, I don't see why it couldn't be the 4th choice. But at the moment, with the quality we have in centre backs, which we haven't had to say in a long time because our centre backs have been pretty awful for the last couple of years. But yeah, I think another low move will do him well.
Okay, and Zay is saying to stop being so salty.
After this season, can you blame me?
Yeah, you got a point. I'm salty too. So, okay, so now let's talk about something that'll bring us joy to our hearts. Someone that deserves our attention and our full love, which is our female team. They won the Portuguese Cup last Sunday, and this was the starting 11. Patrícia Moraes, our MVP, Matilde Fidalgo, Joana Marchão, Mariana Azevedo, Carol Costa, Caroline Baldwin, my favorite player. She's a US player, and she's tiny, but she's feisty. She wins all the 50-50 balls. What a game she had. Tatiana Pinto, Sharon Hozeski, Fatima Pinto. Sharon is also a U.S. player. Fatima Pinto, Ana Borges, and Diane Silva with that missile. Oh my God, what a goal! So I'll go first. I watched the whole game. Danny, you know why I watch games now. I told you my secret. All of you know. So it was a phenomenal game. Very, very entertaining. The Portuguese female league is becoming more and more interesting. The best teams are, of course, Sporting, Braga, and Estoril. Those three teams, they very close to each other. This win was very tough. If Patricia Moraes was the MVP, it tells you all. She pulled some amazing saves. She looked like Rui Patricio, to tell the truth. Braga played extremely well. I hate their president, but their female team, they are a joy to see play. They play well. If they won the Portuguese Cup, I wouldn't be surprised. But luckily, we won, and that's what I wanted, of course, with that amazing goal from Diana Silva. What a goal. That was like off the midfield. And they all played well, all 22 players, all 22 ladies. We won the cup at the end in extra time. This is how tough the game was. And again, this one was 3 trophies: the Super Cup, the League Cup, and the Taça de Portugal Cup. We can only say thank you, ladies. You guys are phenomenal. I love you all, but a little bit more Caroline Baldwin. And that's all I gotta say. This is all we want from our professional players. It's to give it all, to sweat their T-shirt until they can run no more. And we've seen that from our female team and all other modalities that we'll talk about it. And I'm gonna say it. I didn't see that from our senior team, from our men's team. So maybe they should be watching them and the modalities to learn how to be humble and how to play with the love for their jersey, for the Sporting jersey. But that's all I gotta say. Thank you, ladies. So Danny, I don't know if you watched the game, but give me your 2 cents.
I did watch the game because it was on RTP Internacional. Thank you, RTP, for that. Finally, for doing something for me.
I know the ladies game, but not the men's game.
I know, yeah.
Tristeza. Go ahead.
Anyways, yeah, it was an amazing goal from Levzinha, from Diana Silva. It was a great goal. It was Lietzen reincarnated into a woman, even though Lietzen's still around. The ladies played well, like they've been playing all season. To be fair to them, though, easily the best team in Portugal for the female league. Braga definitely a close second. I was thinking Braga was going to push us to penalties. They were playing well. They even had a goal, but it was marked offside correctly. But yeah, credit to Braga. They put up a fight. But credit to our ladies. Our ladies, like you said, they showed the senior team and all the other modalidades. Not saying that the modalidades did bad, but what it is to play for the shirt, what it is to fight, sweat for the shirt and all that. And then credit to them because I think it's 10 of them. 10 of them got called up to the seleção, and well deserved. So thank you, ladies, for the incredible season, for the treble. I can't wait to see you guys do it again next season.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, and Bruno, what do you think?
I've seen commitment, delivery, attitude. I think we see this in all modalities, and this is what we want to see in the men's team. Patricia Moraes did a wonderful job, and a special word for Ana Borges, who did a wonderful season during all the season, all the games, a lot of commitment, and in this game. She was injured, and on the minute 115, I guess, she
Yeah.
after she was assisted, she was breathing, and she's incredible.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
want
seen that.
I want to see this strength and soul in all sporting teams. That's we could lose, but at least we need to see commitment like this.
Yeah, without a doubt. I know exactly what you mean because we know we're not going to win every game, but when you play it all, when you get 100%, you sweat your jersey, and you hurt, but you still want to play. You're showing us the fans that you really care about the club. But Sam, how about you?
I didn't watch the game because I was working at the time, but I did see on my break. I saw the goal, which was a Bruno Fernandes-esque goal there. But I just want to carry on what you guys are saying, that this season alone shows the women's team showed commitment and passion to play for the shirt, whereas you look at the men's team and you could tell that it's just not the same. So maybe, like you were saying, the men should take note of the attitude of the women's football team.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and big time. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the Sporting situation. So I'm going to let Bruno, start with this one. He lives in Portugal. He lives in Lisbon. He's closer to the whole mess. For sure, you'll know a little bit more than us, even though we have media available. But being up close, living in Lisbon, downtown Lisbon, close to the club, you always know a little bit more. So, Bruno, tell us what's going on.
What do you want me to talk specifically?
You can talk. You can talk about the situation that Bruno Carvalho is involved with, Marta Soares, with those top wigs. Well, apparently they think they're top wigs. All of a sudden, we have like 6 presidents. I didn't even know we were up for elections.
Yep.
I mean, I'm totally like, what the hell is going on?
Every day was like a new. I'm going for presidency. I didn't even know there was elections.
Yeah,
Crazy.
so solely about that, about what's going on with our president, his administration, and Marta Soares, o presidente da mesa, that.
Okay, so in the moment we heard about Sporting was set to recover, I guess it was 20% of the SAD percentage, which means Oldimo was going to lose their decision. They're capable of decision on the direction. There was a lot of movement, a lot of rumors saying that Rogério Alves and a lot of people were linked to Álvaro Sobrinho, and then the avalanche starts. I think this is just interests parallels.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then Sporting has a better financial condition than it was 5 years ago, and the abutres are starting to appear in order to recover the taxa.
Okay. Denny, something to say about this?
Yeah, the club right now is going through some difficulties due to the season, due to what happened with us, and then also due with the media lying. I mean, every time the media says something, there's always we wait 2-3 hours and there's some sort of contradiction right after. Listen, I think we should all give it time. We should all hear all parties out. I'm not totally against not election, but I guess the AG, the Assembleia Geral, whether we have to vote for the continuance of Bruno Carvalho or not. I'm not totally against that because there have been many fans, many sócios voicing their concerns. But so, we're the ones that really run the club. The club is for us, by us. So if the majority feels that way, so be it. We'll be in another election. If not, that's perfect. Whatever, we continue on with Bruno. I just think we should always give some things time because like we've noticed in the media, 1 second Jorge Jesus is suspended and not doing the Taça Portugal game. A few hours later, we come out saying that that's not the truth. Players are supposed to be rescinding their contracts. I've yet to see one contract rescinded yet. It's been 2 weeks now. Not one have been rescinded yet. So we just have to be patient. We have to play things out. We have to see how this whole thing goes. Of course, this corruption scandal sort of thing sort of scares me a bit. But then the more I read about it, the more I see that there's a possibility that there might not really be anything in it. So, like I said, wait and see, have some patience, and then take your decisions. That's really all I got to say about the situation.
Okay, good feedback. Thank you. Sam?
Well, for me, I feel like it's just there's clearly a rift between the players, management, and the higher ups. Not just talking about Bruno Carvalho, but talking about the higher ups in general. I believe Inacio was a great appointment as a director of football, and I think that's a good thing going forward. But something like Danny said, I think we need to give it time. I think we were aware that something needs to change. I'm not saying the presidency. I'm talking about the atmosphere and some of the players, the captains, etc. I just feel like it's something we need to give time. And like I said before at the start, I think all sporting groups need to stick together no matter of opinion. This is times that we're going to need, that our club's going to need us to support it. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Okay, so good feedback from all of you, and I'm going to put my 2 cents. I won't take too long either. Basically, what I see is a lot of people pulling the trigger really fast. If you look at our neighbors, and this is not criticizing them at all, but it's something I like, actually. We've seen so much feedback, so much information against Luis Felipe Vieira, but they're sticking together. You don't see... you see a little bit of resistance, but nothing like the way it is against Bruno Carvalho, because the most important for them is to protect the image of Benfica. At this point in time, and there's so much crap going on. Even today, it came out about the similar to Caspal that we involved that an Empresario Ventura tried to buy off 4 Maritime players last season for Benfica, and again, the media. They said something, but really quietly and really fast, and didn't make a big fuss about it. But for Sporting, we get treated differently, and I think the reason is because of Bruno Carvalho, because they love to piss him off, and then they love to bring him into the public, like showing to everyone he's incompetent, he's not a good president, because he's fighting against a lot of people. Politicians, big wigs, and sometimes that's not good. And me as a Sporting fan, I'm kind of very, very upset with what's his name, Frederico Varandas. He was with Bruno Carvalho, and all of a sudden, he just leaves him like that in a heartbeat for personal reasons. Then you have our old goalie, Benedito. Now he's also set to be president. I mean, we have like 10 people that would like to be presidents. It looks like we found gold or diamonds or something all of a sudden. And there's no one supporting Bruno Carvalho but us, the fans. The core Sportingistas, they're still the majority. That's the only thing that Pedro Madeira Rodrigues said lately that makes sense. He said, if we go up for elections, he's still going to win. And he will win again, Bruno Carvalho. Does he have to change? Yes, he has to stop talking so much. He doesn't have to be talking all the time. Giving feedback on Facebook, giving discourses all the time. I'm fed up too, to tell the truth. I think sometimes you should delegate. You should tell his vice presidents. He's got a ton of them. In Portugal, I don't even know why there's like 5 or 6 vice presidents. É só taxa, mais nada. He should be, delegate to his director de comunicação, o Nuno Saraiva. Should be delegating to his team manager. In this case now, o Inácio. He's more vocal than o Geraldo. Geraldo was more quiet. So let them do the dirty work, and you stay nice and quiet as the president, and only intervene when we win something or when you have to. But at this point in time, our Sporting is very divided. I don't like it. I think that Bruno Carvalho won the way he was supposed to win by elections. They're trying to blame him for the academy, the incidents at the academy. It's more than proven he was not at fault. Don't believe everything you see on the Portuguese media, especially Correio da Manhã. That's TMZ. Don't believe in them. Record, it's like one day they saying that Jorge Jesus foi despedido. Today or yesterday they came out and said that they had a meeting with Bruno Carvalho and now he might stay. So, it's so much information going on, like we say in Portuguese, contra-informação, that it's hard to believe. It's hard to trust any of them. Record, a bola, o jogo, Correio da Manhã, I don't trust them at all. That's a fact. But I don't see the reason why these people are against Bruno Carvalho so much. If Bruno Carvalho was at fault for the incidents, the academy, don't you think by now we'd be in jail? A PJ had no doubts in getting Geraldo for the catchball incident. They got him. They didn't touch Bruno Carvalho. They had no difficulties in arresting those 23 or 24 individuals for the attack, the terrorism na academia. But no one has touched Bruno Carvalho. They have no proofs, no evidence. And us Portuguese, we have a short fuse, and sometimes, including myself. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but sometimes we jump to conclusions because we get feedback from the media, and all of a sudden we say, yeah, I think Bruno Carvalho should get out. But at this point in time, I think it's too premature. I think we should give it time, because now, little by little, we can see that everything is a lie. Even the catchball. I don't know if you guys saw the interview on CMTV of 19 minutes, do Paulo Silva. I saw it. And then what happened? And now it's been really quiet all of a sudden. Because the interview didn't go quite well for CMTV. They pushed him for him to say, was Bruno Carvalho involved? Not even once he said that. He said he never spoke to anybody from the structure of Sporting. He never spoke to Geraldo. He spoke to the other guy, Gonçalves. Him and Gonçalves were never employees of Sporting. They were empresarios working indirectly with Sporting. So it's quite different. You could be, a handling company, handling Tapia Portugal, but you don't work for them. You indirectly working for them. So CMTV, the interview didn't go quite well like they expected. And all of a sudden, they went quiet. Because at one moment, I don't know if you guys noticed, when they were talking about handball, what Paulo Silva said was, what I did was a common practice. I was not the only one doing it. Other clubs were doing it. But the female, I forget her name, she cut him off right away. She was not interested in that. Because at one point, the guy said, bom, não se combate crime com crime. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Any of you?
Yeah, I did. I seen that same interview.
Exactly. So he actually, what he stated was, what I did, other people were doing it for other clubs. And she cut him off. É isso que me mata a cabeça. Se ela queria repor a verdade no desporto em Portugal, então também falava nos outros clubes. But she was not interested in that. And that's what's going on. So to all the Sportingistas, to all of our listeners, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe anything you hear from the media, because today you'll see that Jorge Jesus não quer ficar, and now tomorrow they'll be saying, oh yeah, he's going to stay for one more year.
On Twitter, I've seen like 3 or 4 already, like Arabic visas from Jorge Jesus already. It's crazy.
And it's a possibility. No one is saying
crazy times we live in.
Yeah, no one is saying the contrary. But how many times did we hear that 7 players were about to resign? And have you
still waiting for one.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, if we don't have nothing else to say about that, I'm going to move on. Anything else?
I just have another point. In my opinion, to reach stability, we can't be in elections every time.
Yeah.
The other clubs, when they have the club in charge, they have no vouchers on the pro. We always have remarkable with commas, looking for power. Cannot be like this. We need stability. The club is getting better on all fronts. We can see that clear growth, and we are moving towards a winning routine. I am a Sportingista. As such, I recognize the hard work that Bruno Carvalho had. I had some criticism in terms of communication, but it is inadmissible, the attack that is made on his integrity and suitability. If we want Sporting to continue to grow, we cannot let these pseudo candidates that neither that they didn't watch the modalities. They will extinguish them again. They don't love the club. They don't know how Sporting are. Sporting is a club of eclecticism. We can't destroy that. Enough to criticize for everything and nothing, and it's time to remember the presidents we had in 17 years before Bruno Carvalho. In that space, we just won two European titles. Sporting won 7 European titles and was close to win more during the presidency of Bruno Carvalho. We need to see what is best for the club. Regardless of some flaws, perfection doesn't exist, and I have seen it, and I have seen him recognize his own mistakes. We must give time to those who deserve it. If we had croquettes during 17 years on Sporting, I think Bruno Carvalho deserves time, and I think he will
learn from his mistakes.
Well said.
No, I agree, and that what pisses me off is this weekend and last weekend we won titles after titles after titles in different modalities, and the record and bola e o jogo. They mentioned something really fast, but they were more preoccupied in talking about bullshit. And it's for God's sake, it's let's talk about sports. That's why you exist a bola record and o jogo. You exist to display sports news, not so much, and they're not being equal. Like Sporting, we've been treated like a bad boy, like criminals.
And
then other clubs, when they were caught in corruption, they were not so aggressive whatsoever. But the attack they doing on Sporting, I really believe it's to kick Bruno Carvalho out of the club. There's a bigger picture on this. I don't know who's behind the whole thing, but I hate to say it. Most people think it's Benfica. But I really think if it is Benfica, it's in combination with a lot of Sportingistas that want the power. They want to be getting o tacho, like Bruno said very well. So I hate to say it, but it's a kind of a combination of maybe Benfiquismo and Sportingados. Well, let's move on to the next topic. Sincerely, I hope
Yep.
Bruno Carvalho stays.
Yep.
Then the next topic will be transfers. So, what have you guys heard? Danny? I'll start with you.
All right, so I guess the biggest news for us is that there's a potential agreement or a deal between Napoli and Sporting for Rui Patricio, and if he does go, the names linked have been Joe Hart, which personally I hope not. Joe Hart has had a great career, though ever since he's left Man City, went to West Ham, went to Torino, he's been horrible. He's been horrible. If we get Joe Hart, that's basically getting Doumbia. We were just going for the name, but I mean, at least Doumbia had a good season the year before. Joe Hart is, I'm stressing this point very much. I hope we do not go after him. Emiliano Viviano, or whatever his name is, from Sampdoria, 33-year-old goalkeeper, is also linked with us for a €3 million euro move. Great goalkeeper. He's been a phenomenal goalkeeper in Italy for years. I think he'd be a bigger name had Italy not been full of household names like Buffon and Donnarumma and people like that. So he'd be a decent option, a good option for our youngsters to continue their development while he takes over the pipes if Rui does leave. And then it was, I cannot pronounce his name, it's a Greek goalie from PAOK FC in Greece who had themselves a great season, who controversially lost the league because their president stormed the field with a gun, which made them lose 3 points. We talk about our president maybe being a little crazy. I guess Bruno has yet to storm the field with a gun on him. And then it's just a bunch of we've also been linked with Gaston Ramirez, I think his name is, for PSV Eindhoven. Had himself a great season. He's a striker. I wouldn't mind seeing that move come through. That definitely means that Doumbia or Monteiro are on their way out. And then I think that's it. I'm hoping we're also still talking about maybe getting Coentrão, but Coentrão is also being linked with a move to Turkey. I'm not against another loan deal with Coentrão for the right price. I think if he's too expensive, I think we're better off looking elsewhere. Mentioned on this podcast a lot of times, especially from Bruno, is Insua, and I'm 100% for that. He's on himself another great season. He's one of those players that left Sporting, I think, too early, or left Sporting when they didn't deserve to leave because they were still a phenomenal player. And yeah, that's mainly all the things that I can remember that we've been linked to.
Okay, and Bruno, have you heard anything else?
I didn't heard about Gaston Ramirez. If it is true and he came, I think it will be a very good solution. He can play as a offensive midfielder or a second striker, and I think it would be a good acquisition. And the other positions we talked in the previous topics, so I think we said all.
Okay, Sam, have you heard anything else, Sam?
No, but just to add to Bruno's point about the goalkeepers, I really don't want Joe Hart as our goalkeeper. Viviano, I feel, is better suited to us. I don't want to pay a lot for a goalkeeper who I think is average at best, and that would be Joe Hart. Obviously, we can't compete for his salary at Man City, who he's still contracted to. So if it were to be one of them two, I'd definitely pick Viviano. And in addition, the team that Coentrão apparently is linked to in Turkey is the same team we sold Beto to, which is Göztepe. So, and they can offer more money than we can to Coentrão apparently. So who knows on that? But I really hope we get Coentrão back for another season.
Okay. I've heard a couple names that you guys didn't mention, so I'll mention them now. I heard about the goalie from PAOK FC, Alexandru Paskalakis. Apparently he's Greek. He's 28 years old. He's supposed to be a good goalkeeper. And then also I heard about here we go. Gaston Pereiro from Uruguay. He plays at the moment for
That's who I
PSV.
meant, not Gaston
Oh,
Ramirez. Gaston
okay.
PSV. That's what I meant.
Exactly.
My
Nah, no problem. I got your back, buddy.
bad. They're both Uruguayan with the first name Gaston. It's close enough.
Close enough, yeah. And that's the two big names I heard besides all the players we have loaned, which I think they should be given a real shot this time. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic, we only have a couple left anyway. Let's talk about the Portuguese media before we go into the modalities, and that will be the last topic. The Portuguese media. Sam, I'm going to let you start first. What do you think? I want your personal opinion about the Portuguese media, not only the sports newspapers, but also the TV. What do you think, Sam?
So I feel like a lot of bias is with the media. Just like I was going to say, compare it to the UK. You've got certain people who are supposed to be pundits and journalists who come out and say things to, just to spite other clubs and to put their clubs in the way. You're looking at, for guys in England, there's a Paul Merson who's a Arsenal fan. He used to play for Arsenal too. He's a biased one. But to be honest with you, I think you said it earlier, Steph, or it might have been Danny, that said you can't believe everything that you see in Portuguese media because someone will report it and then another newspaper or media will report the same or report different. And then it's like they said with the training and the suspensions that it was reported by, I think it was Ojogo and another newspaper that said the same, that George Jesus was suspended for the Taça da Liga Taça de Portugal final, and so were a few players, but no, that didn't happen. But I think the thing with the media is, you definitely said this earlier, Steph, that Bruno de Carvalho needs to not get provoked by the media, because like you said, Steph, they are there to provoke him and to insult him and to make him talk, because that's what they get the most views on. Bruno de Carvalho's ignorance, that's what they say, and his ambition that he gets riled up by the media. So for me, I think Bruno de Carvalho and the Sporting need to just take a step back from the media. But I think the Portuguese media is for me, it's just a bit, I would say, we use the word disgusting, just because it's all a bit biased, and they'll say anything to get a click and to get people to tune in.
Okay, totally agree. And Bruno, what do you have to say?
In general, they are pure. I am ashamed of what I see and read by a lot of journalists. It seems they work more for the sponsored news than for the true news and to truly provide information for the population.
That's it, Bruno?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to spend a lot of words about media because.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Danny, what do you have to say? What do Canadian Sportingistas have to say?
Listen, I'm not going to spend too much time on it either, because I think Sam nailed it perfectly on the head, and Bruno too. The media, like I said before, it comes out saying one thing, and a few hours later we, dismiss that lie. So with the media, I think they have a lot of work to do to better themselves. There's a big bias towards other teams in certain papers we know very well are more Benfica biased, like a Bola, a Jogos, maybe a little bit more towards Porto. Listen, it needs to be a non-biased platform. It needs to, these journalists need to do their job a lot better. They need to grab all the facts before putting stuff out, because journalism is getting to the facts and not just spewing out whatever just to get clicks or likes or whatever it may be. It needs to be a lot better, and that's all I'm going to say to it, because just like Bruno said, they're not worth a lot of our breath. I just hope a better portrayal of the truth comes out within next season, heck, within next week if they can, but that seems unlikely.
Well, yeah, I agree with the vast majority of you guys about everything. And what bothers me is the media, the Portuguese media doesn't even know how much they. There's no other way to say it. I'm just gonna say it. They have no idea how much they fucking Portugal. Portugal, as a whole, as a country, we look like a bunch of corrupted people, a bunch of a country that has no leader, no leadership, and it's run by mafia, and we can think that to our media. I dislike them very much. I think I don't think they are very incompetent, very incompetent. Because how dare you, give out a piece of news without checking your sources? Antigamente, how was it? You had to be sure 100% before you released the news. You made sure, like, you double checked, you triple checked, 4 or 5 times before you said, hey, Sporting está envolvido em corrupção. You triple checked it because you knew how damaging this could be. So they wouldn't play games. But in nowadays, the media is totally different. It's like, I don't know who said it, if it was Bruno or Sam, that they want to see people just clicking on their link so they can get paid the maximum likes or the maximum comments on Record Bola, o Jogo, and Correio da Manhã. All they care about is how popular they are. That their news that they just told the whole world is being publicized, but in a negative way for Portugal itself, because putting Sporting and Benfica and Porto in the same basket, saying that we all because at this point it's what it is. They're saying that the 3 major clubs in Portugal are corrupted. So somebody from the outside, somebody from the US, from the UK, from Canada, from France, from Spain, from Italy, from China, they commenting on it because they don't know in depth, every single thing. They say, hey, look at Portugal, it's a mess. It's all corrupted. So, and we can say thank you to a Bola Record and o Jogo because they're doing a phenomenal job.
Mainly Correio da Manhã.
Yeah, mainly Correio da Manhã and CMTV. We look like a bunch of douchebags. I am so sorry, Bruno, because you live in Portugal, and I'm Portuguese too, don't get me wrong. I love my Portugal, mas eu tenho pena, because our media is doing a terrible service for our Portugal. You just don't release news because, isto vai ser uma sensação do caralho, meu, uma bomba. Because that's all I hear, uma bomba nuclear, outra bomba. Portugal já nem existia. Já são quantas bombas nucleares em Portugal? Umas 5 ou 7? Foda-se. It would be diminished by now. And I just feel bad. I really do, because when I speak to my American friends, the ones that pay attention to sports, not in depth, but they look at ESPN, and believe it or not, ESPN speaks about football a lot more than years ago. This stuff comes out, and they're like, what's going on in your Portugal? Because they look at me like I'm Portuguese, because my first name, last name, and I'm always talking about on my computer, even at work, I have the Sporting logo on the background. Everything is Sporting at my job. So, and it says at the end, at the bottom of our symbol, it says what? Portugal. So they know that I love my Portugal. But when they see the news, they asking me, what's going on in your Portugal? Portugal is so corrupted. Then I have to explain it to them what's going on. But imagine you multiply that by millions. It's millions of people thinking that way. And we have to thank the Portuguese media, because they're the ones that at fault releasing this kind of information without double checking it. You can't believe everything an individual says. I mean, I could go up to CMTV and say, epa, eu tenho a certeza, I'm just going to say Sporting because I'm a Sportingista. I don't want to mention other clubs. Que o Sporting está envolvido em tal e tal e tal e tal, enquanto joga não sei o quê, com a estima, com aquela equipa, com aqueles jogadores e tal e tal e tal. Encontrei-me com ele no café em tal sítio, na Baixa lá do Porto e tal e tal. What makes it what makes it true, me saying that to them? They have to double check before releasing the news, but that's not what's going on. And I got to tell you, it's not good for Sporting. It's not good for Benfica. It's not good for Football Club Porto. It's not good for anybody. And now we look like a bunch of corrupted people. And then the Justiça Portuguesa, they're so slow in resolving the issues at hand that it makes it much worse. Because in Italy, you had a Juventus that went to the second division. Am I right?
You are right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
So there it is. So what can we say as Sam? He lives in the UK. What can Sam say as representing of Portugal? He represents Portugal to his friends. Oh, Sam is Portuguese, so let's talk to him. Hey, what's going on, buddy, in your country? Sam, he doesn't even know what to say because there's nothing for us to say. Nothing's been resolved. What can you say, Danny, in Canada? There's nothing you can say.
Nothing.
Yep. There's nothing I can say in the U.S. as far as corruption in Portugal because all I'm going to say is, nothing's been resolved. It's I think it's in our court system, but the judges delay it, and nothing's been resolved yet. But anyway, so I think the Portuguese media, to wrap it up, is a misery, uma vergonha mundial e para Portugal. And I've learned, it took me a while not to pay attention to them. The only time I go to Record a bola or jogo, it's to see some results, like dos iniciados or juniors or juvenis. If I don't see on Twitter, then I try to get it from them. Besides that, the news they release, they have no value whatsoever. Like CMTV, they had a 19-minute interview with Paulo Silva. They didn't like it. They didn't publicize it. Castball is part of the past already. Because that interview was more damaging to CMTV than more positive. The ratings were okay, but then afterwards were low because whoever was listening to it and paid attention realized that Sporting was not involved in anything he was saying. Anyway, so without any further delays, let's go to the last topic so we can go to sleep. Let's talk about modalidades. Bruno, go first.
Our beach soccer won 9-2 against the Estonian team, and they will play against the MFC Spartak, who lost 10-0, I guess, against Braga. Was losing 10-0 after the second period, and we have a clearly good chance to reach the quarterfinals. I think with Braga, Crystal, Falfala Kasem, and Lokomotiv, we are the favorites, and we need to show it on the sand. Our tennis table won the 3 championship. They won every games inside Portugal. They reached the semifinals of the Champions League. Our did an incredible game no Pavilhão da Luz. They won 7-4 against Benfica, and they just need to win against Porto at home to win the title. I guess 30 years after, not sure. And it shows that our direction is working very well in all the modalities. We are in a great shape. Our athletics team, female, revalidate the club's champions title, and that's it. We are in a very good shape on every front.
Agree with you, buddy. Danny, do you have anything else to add?
No, just congratulations to a bunch of our winners. I just seen the cover for Journal Sporting, and it just features the girls, the rugby team also, and just all the other winners that Bruno just mentioned. And congratulations, and thank you for carrying the good name of Sporting Club Portugal in a right light.
Well said. Sam, do you have anything to say, Sam?
Yeah, just to piggyback what Danny said, just that congratulations and thank you for showing that we can still win, no matter of just if we're not just a men's football team. We've got so many other modalities and so many other sports that we're involved in. So yeah, congratulations to everyone involved.
Just a word for the futsal team. They reached the semifinals of the playoffs, and handball, they lost against Benfica, but we cannot forget the great season that they did, and that they played against Porto with a lot of injuries, and they won by 9, and it was really difficult to be in a good shape against Benfica. Benfica played against a second division team before, and we played against Porto. It's not the same thing. So I think they are they need to be recognized for what they did this season, and I think we are going in a great way.
Agreed, buddy. I'll just give my 2 cents, and then we'll wrap it up for today. But basically, like Bruno said, he said the most of it. But just a couple other modalities. Judo, we are champions of Portugal. Volleyball, females, ladies, they were champions of the 3rd division, so they got promoted to the 2nd division. That's, to me, relevant. As you know, that when you start with a new team, you have to start at the bottom, unless you have X amount of international players. There's criteria to be met, like Sporting in volleyball, men, they met those criteria. So congratulations to our volleyball female team, champions of the 3rd division, going to the 2nd division. Track and field, ladies, again, European champions, like Bruno said, for the 2nd year in a row, making it 29 international titles for Sporting Club de Portugal. That's very significant. It's 29 international titles. That's something else. I think we only behind Barcelona. Besides, beyond that, we're in 2nd place. Rugby, like Danny said, we champions of Portugal for the 2nd year in a row in the 7-team individual female team. Then ladies soccer, we mentioned it. We won the Taça Portugal, making it the 3rd trophy of the year. Okay, in patins, we went to Pavilion de Luz. We won 7-4. If we win at home on the 2nd of June, which will be on Sporting TV at 1500 Portuguese time, 3 p.m. Portuguese time, and 10 a.m. in the East Coast in the US and Canada. It's a full pavilion. It's sold out. So o 12º jogador will be there, which is great, phenomenal. If we win, we champions of Portugal. Handball, like Bruno said, we played against Football Club Porto. We won by 9 goals. Then in the final, we played with Sporting Lisboa Benfica. Carlos Rezende, he's a phenomenal coach. Actually, he played in the Sporting when he was younger. I played against him when I played for Ilhavo, and he played in the juveniles and juniors to Sporting before he went to Football Club Porto. And his strategy paid off. He neutralized Portela and he neutralized Frankie Carol. And by taking those 2 players out of the game, our team was basically diminished. So it was a game played by Benfica. and Sporting lost. But you know what? They gave us so much this year. We only lost against Montpellier by 1 goal, and Montpellier won the Champions League, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they did phenomenal. As you can see, no one touched our players. No one beat them up. No one did anything about them because Sportingistas are smart. They see when they play well, they can just win the game. It's okay. We're not expecting perfection. Not everybody is the same way or thinks the same way. It's those crazy 50 fans that are all in jail, and I hope they stay in jail for a long time. You don't touch our players, even if they lose. We understanding fans. Then table tennis, like Bruno said, we won 3 championships in a row. That's significant to me and to us Portuguistas. Futsal, we won against Brunhosa. 2 tough games. The game away, we barely won 4-2. I watched the whole game because they play really well defensively and in counterattack. And then at home, we went in overtime to win 5-3 against Brunhosa. And now we play in the semifinals against Modalities, another great team. And then last but not least, in the E-Pro football, our guy won, and he became champion on one-on-one. But by teams, we lost. But that's it. So it was a very successful weekend, and we still have a couple trophies. Joaquim Patins, track and field ladies domestically, track and field men domestically. We still have a shot at the under 15 juniors. Benfica already won the championship, the champions of Portugal under 19. They had the better team. They deserved it. No questions about that. Under 17, I think we're out of it. That's between Porto and Benfica. Iniciados, we still have a shot. We're only 2 points away. And we have Joaquim Patins and the futsal. So, we still have a few trophies to conquer, and much more important than the politics. So to wrap it up, to all my Sportingistas that's listening to us, pay attention to our modalities. They're the ones who should have our attention, not so much the politics. And that's why we're fans. We're fans of sports. We're not fans of politics. Because if I was fans of politics, I would follow the Republican Party, or the Democratic Party, or PSD, or CDS, or Partido Comunista, and so on. But I don't follow politics. I hate politics. I love sports. And with that said, give your attention to our modalities, to futsal, hockey patins, track and field, iniciados, juvenis, juniors, and fuck the politics. And that's all I have to say. Guys, any last words?
Just quickly speaking on politics, your provincial elections are coming up, my fellow Canadians. Every vote matters. That is a joke. Nothing else, man. Yeah, it was a great podcast, boys.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, very good to be back. Viva Sporting.
Viva Sporting. This will be the last podcast of this season, 2017-18. We might do a special one in relation to the World Cup, or possibly touching on the subject of transfers and the situation of Sporting. We're not going to have a podcast on a weekly basis. If we do a special one, we will announce it, and then we'll be back when the official season starts, or maybe a couple weeks before, to talk about the preseason. And then once the season starts, we'll be back again on a weekly basis. With that said, also pay attention to Sporting160. O João, Pedro e José, they've already announced it. They will have a live podcast, the very first one for next season. It will be live. They want to show the fans what's behind the whole preparation, all the notes, all the feedback. So that sounds like a really exciting podcast. Pay attention to that, and they'll do a special podcast as well. We follow Sporting160 from Portugal very closely. I listen to that podcast all the time. They always have some amazing feedback. I love José João and Pedro. They're amazing with their knowledge. I learned a lot from them. And we basically sister companies together, partnership. And we when we have some doubts, we talk to them via WhatsApp, and they give us a lot of good feedback. And that's all I gotta say, boys. Anything else?
Thanks
Viva
for all.
Sporting Clube Portugal! Sorry, go ahead, Bruno.
What?
Sorry for cutting you off. My bad.
No problem. No, I just want to say thanks for all, for the Sportingistas who join us in our live podcast and live, and it's a pleasure to talk about our great sporting with all you guys.
I feel the same way. A shout out to Zé Pereira. He stayed with us the whole time. To Kevin Fernandes, to Miguel Amaral. He showed up also. So shout out to them. And we'll see you next year, people. Enjoy the summertime. I am going to watch the game on the 21st of July, which is scheduled to be o jogo da apresentação. If you guys go and watch the game, let me know. At Steph Teixeira, at Steph301972 on Twitter. Let me know so we can meet up and we can celebrate and watch the jogo da apresentação together. I'm super excited. I'm already coordinating with family members. I'm going on a Friday. Going to visit the museum. Going to take a lot of pictures. Twitter, put it on Twitter. I'm going to go crazy, possibly even cry and shit. You know, because walking into my stadium, it will be like walking to Catedral de Lisboa. So I'm talking about the church. So I'm super excited. So see you guys pretty soon. And Bruno, thank you all the way from Lisbon for tuning in. Danny, all the way from Canada, thank you. And Sam, all the way from thank you. And that's all I got. Viva Sporting Clube Portugal.